Hi, I'm Margaret and this is Mag Sing Along. Today I'm going to talk about how to breathe for singing. So when learning how to breathe for singing, it can get a little confusing because there's actually a lot of different ways our body can breathe. And you have the process of the inhale and an exhale, which are two different parts of breathing. So I'm just going to simplify breathing today to make it easier to sing simple songs. And then as you get better at that, you can learn even more about how to breathe even better for singing. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of different ways we can breathe. But first thing is just recognizing that an inhale is different than an exhale. And when we sing, we inhale, and then our exhale is actually the sound we're making. So that's a different part of it. Let's focus on the inhale for now. Now, when we inhale, there's two main different ways people tend to inhale, and I'm going to show them right now. The first one is if you put your hands on your chest, I want you to feel air just going up into your upper lungs, like that. Try it. It usually doesn't feel very good. You can see the shoulders are rising, and I'm actually only sending air into my upper lungs, which means the lower part of my lungs are not getting full, so the lungs are just filling up kind of just halfway. Now we sometimes breathe this way when we're anxious or nervous. We get a little high in our air, in our inhale, so it makes it a little hard to sing that way. Not only because it makes you more nervous or more anxious, it tightens your muscles, you don't get as much oxygen, and you're not setting up your torso muscles properly to support your sound. So it takes a little bit of practice if that's a habit of yours. Instead, what I recommend trying is a low, relaxed breath. It looks like this. Actually, if you put your thumbs on your lower ribs and your fingers on your stomach like this, I call this claw hands, if you forget, you can breathe into this area, and that allows air to enter into the lower part of the lungs, which is around here, and it feels like your stomach will bulge out a little bit. Now, air actually isn't going into your belly, but it might feel like it is, and it might feel a little weird if you're not used to it, and that's okay. If it's hard to feel that lower breath, I would like you to try doing it silently through the mouth, and you'll feel a little bit more of a release down there. So again, if you put your fingers on your belly in the claw hand position, try taking in a silent inhale. And that might be a little bit easier. So we just talked about how to inhale for singing. The next step is learning how to exhale as well. And the exhale is actually the singing part. So it also goes into vocal development in general, but the key to exhaling for singing is making sure you're exhaling at a steady rate. And in that way, you can maintain a consistent sound throughout the phrase that you're singing. This isn't easy at first because usually we don't exhale at a steady rate when we talk. And so it's kind of strange to learn how to do this at first. So we practice. One exercise I recommend is taking in that silent inhale and then immediately exhale as steadily as you can on an unvocalized consonant. Now, unvocalized consonants are like sh or f or s. Like an F, an S, or an SH are good. And you try to exhale as long as you can, keeping the volume the same the whole time. And then when you're out of air, you do a silent inhale again, and then exhale as long and as loud as you can the whole time. So for example, it looks like this. I'm going to use my claw hands. I'm going to take in a silent inhale through my mouth. Shh. and so on. And that allows me to practice my exhale. And it allows my body to learn that it can exhale at a steady rate without an immediate need for air. We can actually exhale for a while. Once that feels good, you can add voice. So you could do a zh or zzz if you like. So for example, I'm trying to keep the volume the same and as steady as I can until I'm out of air. And that's practicing your exhale. Okay, so just to recap, when we breathe for singing, we first want to make sure the body is relaxed so that we can allow a good tank of air to get into our body, and our torso muscles will support that air really well. And then when we are exhaling, we want to try to remember to exhale at a steady rate. So both of those take practice. So feel free to practice and then try out a song and see how that feels. Watch out for your inhale in between phrases. See if you can make sure it stays relaxed. A lot of times people will sing their song and then it gets a little bit anxious again halfway through. Try to catch yourself and remember to relax the body. Thank you for listening. I'm Margaret and this is Mag Sing Along. You can join me every week for more tips on singing.